Hey everybody, I am super excited to officially say that welcome to our twerk tutorial. We're gonna go through 5 movements that I consider the basic steps of twerk. This is something I call them. It's easier for me to remember, easier for me to explain for you guys, and also it's going to be covering every movement, every isolation you could possibly think of, and you could do it in any position, on the floor, on the wall, standing up. We'll get to little by little the variations, but this is going to be the base level. This is where you start moving those hips. So let's get started. So now, the infamous booty bounce. We really want to get those hips moving, them bouncing. So this is exactly what I want you to see and feel in your body. It's not going to be easy at first. It takes a lot of flexibility, stability, stamina, lots of things, but everything we're going to work on little by little. The more you practice, the better it's going to get. So I'm going to face this way so you can see me. We want to have our shoulders down. So we're not going to be sticking our chest out or curving our spine just yet. We want to be standing up straight, shoulders down. We're going to tuck in our belly button into our spine. So imagine someone who is pushing you into your torso. That's the locked in position or engaged torso that we want to make sure nothing is moving from up here. We only want our lower body moving. So for my legs, this is gonna be a variation depending on how comfortable it is for your knees. I like to go a little bit wider. So I want to be able to keep my weight towards the back. So we're gonna imagine sitting on a chair behind us, and that's what's comfortable for me. Anything too close is a little bit too much stress on my thighs. I don't want to be leaning forward. So I'm going to open it a little bit wider than hips apart so that I'm comfortably can move my body and I feel imbalanced. So when I face the side, we're going to be here in the sitting back position. So when we go back, see how my hips go back and my knees didn't drive forward? That's what we want to be careful of. So make sure your tippy toes and your heels don't look like this. Your heels are on the floor, toes are on the floor as well. Push those hips back. Remember those shoulders, that spine, or our belly button to spine. And here, we're resting our arms. You could either have them in this position or elbows out. So your little opening right here is towards you. You can have it in either position, but I will challenge you to not put any weight on your arms because eventually we want to do movements that require us not resting here. So get used to it now. I know it's going to be really hard for your legs, but this is how we build strength. So I'm going to push you to keep no weight on those hands because also we don't want to look like this when we're twerking, when we get tired. We want to have that nice, beautiful position that we're working on. So let's get started with that bounce. So here, we're gonna start with our hips going a little bit up. So here we're not incorporating our spine, our upper body yet, just our hips. And lift and down. Lift and neutral spine. Lift and neutral. Lift and neutral. So it's a very small movement. For right now, it's gonna be small. Make sure just those pelvic bones don't come inwards and our body looks like a little contraction, like a C. We don't want that. Lift to neutral. Lift to neutral. And you see I'm already starting to get into my squat position. And that's what we want to take for our booty bounces. So once we're down here, thinking of our position, take that tailbone all the way up, relax. All the way up, relax. So you're gonna bounce a little bit, but we don't wanna be going up and down too much, not just yet. See, so keep those legs. Yes, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but you'll get used to it. Again, and up to relax, and up to relax, up to relax. One more time, up to relax. This is gonna be our basic step number 1, our booty bounce. Now, we're gonna try it, no music first. I want you to think of that same movement, what we just did, and like there's a drum underneath you, or like you're bouncing a basketball. I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 times. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 times. not 9, 8 times. So we're gonna lift, but more of the emphasis will go down, 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 down. Let's try it together. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How was that? Can we try it with some music?
Bim bom, ay, bom bom, bim bom, ay, bom bom. Gátalo, gátalo. Muévelo, muévelo. Quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven ahí, quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven. Quiere darle ven. Ay, te estoy esperando. Quiere darle ven, cuero como yo casi no se ven. Si no aprovecharon cuando la aprendí en que yo le di el break, pero lo perdí. Soy la perra.
Okay, how do we feel? Twerk is not for the weak, but you're here learning, so I know you got this. It's just a lot of practice, okay? So now we're gonna go to basic step number 2. And I'm always gonna remind you, if you need to go back to any other video, please do. The more you review the techniques, your positions, remember all those details, the nicer, the faster, and the more juicy those bounces are gonna be. So for basic step number 2, we're basically gonna take everything we did for the basic step number 1, our booty bounce, but we're gonna go up and down now. So facing the side, we're gonna think about bringing our hips to like a shelf, a little bit higher. But do you see how I kept my head in the same place? I'm not bouncing just yet. So we don't wanna think about this. We wanna think about lifting and dropping, lifting and dropping. So it's more about the height of your tailbone versus your head. Your head's gonna move a little bit, but it's not a bounce. So the same technique of lifting your tailbone, relax, lifting your tailbone, relax is what we have to think of here. We're just gonna do it in 2 different levels. So our legs, nice and wide, shoulders down, belly button in, no weight on the arms. We went down. We're gonna go up, think of bringing that tailbone as high as can be, relax. Then we're gonna go to our lowest level. Lift, drop it. Again, lift, highest level. Lift, drop it to the lowest. Again, 1, 2, 3, down, E, down, E, down. So if you see, the lift to go up is very small before you come down, because again, we want to think of our hips being heavy, our booty being heavy, so what goes up must come down. So I'm thinking more of what I want to accomplish, which is my down movement, than my up movement. Let's go again, and up, relax, up, relax, lower, and up, down, shelf, down, shelf, counter, shelf, counter, shelf, counter, and we do it a little bit faster. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Lift and drop, lift and drop. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, boom, boom. Yes, feel that warmth in those legs? That means we working. Let's try that with music slow, and then we're gonna pick it up a little bit faster.
Bim bom, ay, bom bom, bim bom, ay, bom bom. Gátalo, gátalo. Muévelo, muévelo. Quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven ahí, quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven. Quiere darle ven. Ay, te estoy esperando. Quiere darle ven, cuero como yo casi no se ven. Si no aprovecharon cuando la aprendí en que yo le di el break, pero lo perdí. Soy la perra, tu marido que te lo tiene fundido. Soy la perra, tu marido que te lo tiene fundido. Ay, 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 me está
we breathing? Y'all still with me? This is going to be our third basic step. Review all the ones beforehand before you get to this one, because the more we know our body, the more we can coordinate left, right, hip, booty, knee, all that stuff, the better. I'm going to face the back to explain this one. So here, we're getting into our hip drops. So, see this bone right here? Well, you can't see it, but the bone that connects your knee to your hip, they're together. It's solid. So anything that affects the knee will ultimately affect the hip and vice versa. So if you bend your knee, see how your hip drops, you lean onto that side. We don't want to lean onto it, but we will be using that technique of imagine someone hit you at the back of the knee. So when I'm facing back, my legs don't have to be so wide. They're actually right underneath my shoulders. I'm going to think about sticking my hips a little bit back. So I'm not arching my back and I'm not curving my back to do this. I want to keep nice and straight. Hips are just slightly hinging. My heels are on the floor. From here, we're going to start with our right. We're going to bend. But check yourself. Did you lean? Did you twist? Try not to do that. Keep it straight, knees to the front. Bend. Chest is going to be in our engaged position, so she shouldn't move. And switch to the left. Bend. And switch. And right. And back. And left. And back. And right. And back up. And left. A little faster. 1, 2, 1. Keep going. And right, left, right, left. So here with your arms, I like to call this the super twerker position, where we have our arms straight back. Or if you lean a little bit more forward, you could put your hands on your upper thigh. Or if you're flexible here in your hamstrings, you can make it to your knees. But what we don't want is this curve in your spine. Make sure you're nice and up and arched and beautiful. See, let's try that again. I'm gonna keep my arms out to the side in our super twerker, starting with the right 8 times. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now the beauty of this move is you can do either side countless amount of times. So let's go double on each side. It's the exact same thing. We just do it twice. And bend, come back, stay on the right, bend, come back. Now with the left. 1, up, 2, switch, 1, up, 2, switch, 1, up, 2, and switch. So now we're gonna go single, single, double, single, single, double. Let's try it. Remember that chest, make sure it's not swaying. It's staying right in between our feet. 5, 6, 7, and single, single, double. Single, single, double. Make sure that weight is on the heels. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna face the side so you can see me there. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna try it with music, but this time we're gonna go from singles to doubles, then to single, single, double, single, single, double. So we're gonna be talking through the music so we can jam out and relax. Again, practice this technique as much as you can so you feel good to be twerking it out there. Let's try.
Bing bong, bom bom, bing bong, bom bom. Gátalo, gátalo. Muévelo, muévelo. Quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven, quiere darle ven. Quiere darle ven. te estoy esperando. Quiere darle ven, cuero como yo casi no se ven. Si no aprovecharon cuando la aprendí en que yo le di el break pero lo perdí. Soy